Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hey guys, welcome back, Bushcraft family, with another video. And while we're kind of on the subject of shift and all this stuff, well, there's been a lot of talk, especially in the last week, about EMPs and what it would be like for an EMP to go off. Or it could just be, you know, the sun spits out some CME stuff and kaboom, grid goes down. Every bit of electronics is fried or whatnot. And there is talk like airplanes, military airplanes, commercial airplanes. The majority of them are made out of aluminum. So they're saying, well, because, you know, that's the scenario that EMP hits and then airplanes just flop to the ground. Well, kind of and kind of not. There's a lot of talk that most airplanes in the sky right now would survive this. But all communication would be out. You'd have a massive amount of planes landing wherever they could. Airports would be packed because they have no communication to tell one plane to come in or what altitude or anything like that. It'd be chaos. So even if these planes are able to fly, they will come down eventually. And I have a kitty cat behind me. He's got his brain on something. Anyway, stop that. Like I said, if an EMP went off or CME or whatever the case may be, total grid down. Some say, well, cell phones would be fine. Well, every cell phone tower within that range would be fried anyway, so what would be the use of it? Some people say, well, I have a bunch of books on my... That would be helpful, but you have to continue figuring a way to charge that phone. Some say vehicles and things like that some would work. Yeah, eventually, some will work. There are, you know, most of the cars now are plastic. Although most of these new cars have computer chips in them and all that stuff would be fried. And again, nobody knows the full extent of what an EMP would do. And say one went off over your head right now, you would never know it. All of a sudden the power would go off, and then what happens? And that's the kind of thing I was wanting to get to. Like the stages. And this is for 3 days. I'm only doing it for 3 days. What some of the stuff that would happen or could happen, nobody knows because it hasn't happened, but we can kind of gauge how things happen from past events when power went off in big cities and how things happened in that city. Well, the one thing is it's one of the prepper scenarios that is thrown out there so much that we would go back to the 1800s. And sure, those people back in the 1800s would be like, cakewalk, this is easy. We do this stuff every day. But now we have come accustomed to electricity and all these new fancy tools and things, how we do stuff. We just want something, we just go to the store and buy it. Well, that wasn't the case back then. They had special tools that were made for those time periods to where like plowing a garden. Now we have big machinery that plows it and picks it and everything else. We actually have robots that do that now. So how would we do this? It's been 100 years since anybody has done it. How do we know how to do this stuff? Majority of people don't know. And that's the big scenario right there. But anyways, say it happens and, power's off, First thing you do, you go check the fuse box, make sure, breaker didn't blow or anything. And then everybody ventures outside and looks out, what's going on? And maybe yell over to your neighbor, is your power out? And they, yeah, I wonder what's going on. That kind of thing. And there's not going to be no radio or anything like that. So you don't know what's going on. And it could be weeks before you actually know what had happened. But that's some of the things that's the first things that's going to pop in people's heads, It's just a power outage. It must be something at the station or something like that. And it should be up. And then you start checking, well, my cell phone isn't working. Or it does work and you can't get a hold of anybody. You go get in your car and to drive around, see if you can see anything, click, click, click. Oh, then starts dawning on you. If you even know the symptoms of, what an EMP will do. The majority of the population don't even know what an EMP is or what it even stands for. So, now it's starting to sink in. Now you're starting to fear is starting to stick into this person. And, even according to FEMA, 90% of everyone's households, and this is just in the United States, I don't know about anywhere else, but in the United States, 90% of households only have 3 days of food on hand. And I think it's fresh food and things like that, but like milk and eggs and cheese and, meat and stuff like that. We have 3 days of food. So what happens when you start freaking out and you open that refrigerator and you realize, oh no, I need to get to the store. So you grab a bag and you start walking to the store and you see everybody in the store going crazy, grabbing this and that. And then you start grabbing everything you can. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have any cash. How am I going to pay for this? Because you get there and you hand them the card and we don't do cards anymore. The grid's down. So you have two options: leave the food there or run out that store as fast as you can. There may be people guarding the store. You never know. It's one of those situations you don't know about yet. A lot of stores, they do have generators. If the generator works from the EMP, that has a lot to do with it. So more than likely, within no time at all, that store is not going to be empty. And that's when panic sets in. All of a sudden you see stores and broken windows, or people will start looting. They don't have any cash. All their cash is in the bank, which technically it's not in the bank. It's just a digital number that's on the interwebs. So how much money do people have on hand? And eventually that little piece of paper is going to be useless. Just like, gold or silver, you can't eat it. and trading somebody something that they can't very well use. I don't know. It's something that we don't think about. And that could very well be the first day. I would think the first day this happened, it's more or less your disbelief of why the power is down, and talking with your neighbors and things, and that's when the first day is when that fear starts setting in, if you're not prepared for these things. And then I would say day 2, violence. Yes, once the bad element figures out there's no 911, there's nobody coming, they're going to take what they want to take. They're going to want to do what they want to do. And that's the scary part right there. So unless you have ways of protecting yourself, do you have like homemade alarm systems that you could set up in your house and things like that? And then day 3 comes along. Where's the government? Government's in the same boat as you. They have no power either. It may take 6 months to a year before you even hear news that there's help coming. And it's going to be to the big cities. And then it'll start trickling down to the smaller cities. By the time it gets to, like, if you're in a really rural area where there's maybe 1 or 2 houses in your area, you might 2-3 years down the road actually might get help by then. And unfortunately, that's where it is. And toward the last part of the day, on the 3rd day here, you're starting to think this is how life is going to be. You're going to see things that you don't want to see. That's going to be playing right out in the normal of the day, or right out in the street. Your neighbors might actually turn on you and try taking things from you. And like I said, this is all hypothetical type things that could happen, but it's kind of been proven of things that's happened in the past, like cities go black and when I say go black, it means their power goes out for days, and they find out that a lot of looting and this type of thing starts to happen. People start starving, even though it's been only 3 days. People are used to, well, I got a little bit of a growl in my stomach. Oh, go grab something out of the fridge, grab something out of the cupboard. When they don't have that, a lot of people start freaking out. When they don't have, that ready to grab whatever it is, it's a big difference. And a lot of people do anything for, a piece of candy, a sandwich, or whatever the case may be. A can of ravioli, SpaghettiOs, or whatever, raviolis. But it's something to think about, guys. And until we start working on those skills that they used to do back in the 1800s, before electricity. It's a possibility. Not saying anything like this would happen, but that's been said before. Until next time, God bless.